Yes, see, actually we have two types of internal tables. Okay.
Three types, right?
Wait, one second. Actually, we have only two types. Then it is segregated once again. Okay. So we have index table and hash table. So again, index table.
Vijay, your voice is little low. I'm not able to hear properly. Sound. Oh, okay.
My sound is full only.
Okay, let me check mine.
Check from the side. Everything is fine over here.
Okay. Even I did mine.
So, do you know how many types of data we have? Karima?
Yes.
Do you know how many types of data we have?
Types of data means what?
We have master data.
Yeah, master transaction, right.
Master and transaction data. Okay, actually these are things. Again, this transaction data is segregated into header and item. Okay, header.
In line item.
So this is about the data. In the way itself, we have types of internal table. We have two types of internal table. One is a index table and another one is a hash table. This index table is further classified into standard table and sorted table. Okay, so people tell that we have three types of internal tables. One is a standard internal table, another one is a sorted internal table, another one is a hashed internal table. Okay, so totally we have three types of internal tables. Coming to this one, what is a standard internal table? Standard internal table are the default values. Sorry, one second. We declare internal tables like syntax is data, I underscore some any name, take it as Karim also, type table of TV underscore some K name, any table. Okay, so this is nothing but I underscore type standard table TV underscore K name. These both are same. If we don't specify anything over here, by default system will take standard internal table. Both are same.
No, Vijay, but technically, like, what is the difference between these three tables?
Yeah, I will tell. First of all, I need to tell you the syntax, no, without telling the syntax.
Sure.
How can I go to the theory? So this is how we create an internal table. Okay. In the same way, so this is about a standard internal table. So I have given that these are default internal tables. So this is why I have given the point as these are the default internal tables. Okay. The next thing is sorted internal table. These are special internal tables where the data is automatically sorted. Automatically sorted in the sense it is automatically sorted in the ascending order, not in the descending order. Okay, these internal tables are automatically sorted in the ascending order. One thing. Next thing is the hashed internal table. These are the special internal tables which are used when working with the large data sets, that is more number of records with all fields. These are mainly used when the internal table resembles the database table. That means if K11 table is having 256 fields, we need all the fields into the program. Then only we go for the hashed internal table. But in real time we never use this hashed internal table. Hashed and sorted also. I'll tell you why we don't use it. The first thing is, if you want to sort this internal table, we can't sort. Why? Because it is automatically sorted. And one more thing is, we can't sort this internal table in descending order. And this one is, we never go for all the fields in a table. Maximum we'll go for 10 to 15 fields. That's all. In real time. So that's why this is also not used. We never go for the large data sets. So that's why these two are not used.
So, in what situation these tables are used, internal table and sorted internal and hash table?
These both are not used at all. They never use. 99.999% we never use these two tables.
So we can these tables might have been used in SAP's development, right?
Yes, yes, they use these things. XA50 people will use this one. We developers never use these two things.
Okay, thanks.
And this one, standard accessing a record or reading a record is done either by key or index. Do you know what is a key and what is an index?
Yeah.
Fine, okay. So this is all the same thing. Accessing or reading a record is done either by key or index. So this one is we can use only with the key. We can't use with the index.
Okay.
So the next thing is this internal table. I told this is a default internal table. By default, it follows a linear search. Okay, but also we can use binary search also for this one. By default, it is a linear search. We can also use binary search.
Okay.
This one is always binary search. It never goes for the linear search. It always goes for the binary search. Okay. This one will be having a hashed algorithm. According to that, it will search a record. Based on the hashed algorithm, it will search a record. And this formula I have given here. If you see here, there are two formulas for here. If you use the binary search option with key access, the response time is logarithmically proportional to the number of table entries. Okay, that means this is the formula. The response time is directly proportional to the total number of records. This is the calculation part. Actually, this one no one knows, but I kept this one. This was a question in certification, SAP certification. So that's it.
The response time is directly proportional to total number of records.
Yes, yes.
And for the first one, the response time is directly proportional to total number of records. Both are same?
Yeah, both are same.
Okay.
For these two things, both are same. But this is different. Response time is fixed regardless of number of records in the internal table. Okay. So this one, actually, if you don't, actually this one no one knows. You can forget this thing also. Okay. But anyhow, I used to tell in interviews. So we can sort the internal tables whenever required. So these standard tables we can do at any time.
Because in SW also we use always standard only. I never use sorted or hash. So that's what I wanted to know in HRABAP. Do we need these tables or not?
No. In HRABAP we use only the standard internal table.
Okay.
So this one we can sort this internal table whenever required. This one we cannot sort this internal table. Why? Because it is automatically sorted. And this hash internal table we can sort according to the hash algorithm. Okay. So rows can be appended. That means records can be appended directly without checking the content of the internal table. But here rows can be appended only if they correspond to the sort sequences are not created duplicate entries. Here we can't create any duplicate entries, and it is automatically sorted. Rows cannot be appended. So that's why we don't go for these two things. Okay. This is the normal definitions which I gave for the standard sort and hash internal tables. And this is the difference. And this is the semantic representation.
Okay.
So, do you know why actually we go for such standard internal table and not away for the sort internal table? This is the position. This is the position which was asked by one of my students in interviews. So that I have kept this page. In case of sort internal table, the data is reordered for every append of a record. Okay, this is a costly mechanism where the value in the key is compared with all the records in the internal table, and it finds a suitable portion in the internal table body of the record in the work area. That means if you append any record, this record will compare with all the fields. Then only it will be appended. Okay, that comparison will make time processing. So there will be a performance skill over there. So that's why we don't go for the sorted internal table. But in the case of scanned internal table, the same sorting functionality can be achieved in a single step by sorting the table based on the required field. The binary search can also be included in the scanned internal table. Hence, we don't use sorted type internal tables in our program. So do you understand why we go for scanned and why we go for this is the thing.
Means after appending, every time it will go for the reordering index, right? So
Yes. In sorted it will go for reordering. But in this this one in standard table.
But in standard, after appending, at the end we can sort only once, right? Sort internal table.
Yes. Okay. It is a one-time process, so performance will be good here. So that's we never go for sorted and we go for only the standard. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell your email ID.
Yeah. KA.
What's up?
I can ping you here. Just a minute. I ping you my email ID. Yeah.
No, I didn't get.
No, in the meeting chat.
No, I didn't get actually.
Okay. KA.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh.
Yeah, I got it. Is this one?
Yeah.
This is ITAB operations to central table operations, okay?
Okay.
So I hope you got the document. So yesterday we were discussing about the DBMS and RDBMS, and we are discussing about the transparent tables, okay? So do you know how to create a pool table and how to create a cluster table?
No, I don't know.
Actually, we never create also. We never create a pool table, cluster table also. Okay. So the thing is, the first one is we don't have any info types in normal ABAP, but in HR ABAP we always do with the info types, and of course, in sometimes we go for transparent tables also. Why? Why we go for transparent tables? The question arises. So if you want to have a complete code, this will be in T001 table. If you want to access bookers, then we go for bookers, which is a transparent. T001 is a transparent table, and definitely we need to go for the selection control here. So that's why 10% we go for selection statement. Bookers cannot be found in info types. Okay. If you find info in info types also, the check table would get T001 table. So that's why sometimes we go for transparent tables over here. The next thing is, to store the transaction data we have transparent tables, but here we go for the cluster tables. So do you know what is the difference between a transparent pool and cluster table?
No.
Actually, we have three types of tables: transparent, pool, and cluster tables. Transparent table means So in R3 architecture,
Yes, yes.
in R3 architecture we will be having 3 layers. One is a database layer, application layer, and presentation layer. Okay, all the transaction codes will be maintained in application layer. If you want to do anything also, you will be doing in application layer only. There only the execution, compilation, interpretation, everything takes place. Database layer is used to do only with the data storage. Whereas presentation layer, we give the input and we will be having the output. So do we have this concept? So I hope you know this concept. Okay. So now SC level. So this is actually application layer. Okay. This is a presentation layer. If you see here, I can show you. See, this is a application layer. SC level will be in application layer only. It won't be in presentation layer. Okay. So here it is a database layer. Whatever we create in application layer, a table, that table will automatically create in database table also. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
here. Yeah. So that's why this is one-to-one relationship. You can see here one-to-one relationship. When I create a table in application layer with all the definitions like domain, data element, all these things, it will directly be created another table in database table also. So that's why this is one-to-one relationship. Hope you understand this. So that's why I have given the definition as it forms one-to-one relationship with the table definition in the database. Transparent tables are used to hold application data which represent master or transaction data. Okay, these are the examples of master data. These are the examples of transaction data. On this one, we can use both OpenSQL statements and NetSQL statements, but we never go for native SQL statement, as this is very, very dangerous. By default, all the tables we create are called as transparent tables. This is about the transparent table. The next thing is pool table. In data dictionary, that is in application layer, we create 1, 2, 3 tables, not 3 tables, more than 3 also we can create pool tables. Okay, all these tables will be created in a single table in database layer, that is called as a table pool. So the structure of the table pool will be like tab name, var key, data ln, var data. Okay. So now I have given the definition as it forms many-to-one relationship. So there are many tables in our application layer. All these tables will be stored in a big table called as table pool. So that's why I have given the definition as it forms many-to-one relationship with the table definition in SAP database. All the pool tables in SAP will be stored in a big table by name table pool in the database. It means that for a single table definition in database, there are many tables in ABAP dictionary. So the structure will be like this. For this one, it will always follows the linear search. Transparent table can follow both linear and binary search. We can only use the OpenSQL statements. Pool table may have or may not have a common primary key. Pool tables are used to store the internal control information such as string sequences, program parameters, and temporary data. On this one, we cannot create secondary indexes. The data in the table pool is stored continuously without any page breaks, same as we do in the notepad files. Okay, we don't create any pool tables in real time. This is about the pool tables. Coming to the next thing, so see some of the pool tables.
So these pool tables are created by that is BKPF. Yeah, those are the finance table, right? So these are the SAP tables, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
If you want to see, you can see all these tables. These are pool tables, okay? Coming to the next thing, cluster tables. Cluster table is also same ditto like a pool table, but there are two differences between two these things. Okay, this also forms many-to-one relationship with the table definition in the SAP database. Okay, all the cluster tables in SAP will be stored in a big table by name table cluster in the database. The same thing. These two points are same thing. The difference is it will be having two fields extra: page number and timestamp. Why? Because in pool table the data will be stored without any page breaks like a notepad file. Whereas in cluster table it will be having the page breaks like WordPad file, like Word document. That is one difference. And another difference is cluster table always follows binary search, whereas pool table always follows linear search. This is the thing which I have data is stored in form of pages. Cluster table always follows binary search, whereas pool table always follows linear search. The remaining are same. These are some of the examples. Okay.
Basic. So, what will happen in linear search and binary search difference?
Okay. I have given you the interview table operations, no? They haven't registered.
Actually, I forgot a lot of things in about earlier. It's been more than 10 years. I learned.
Yes. There is a linear search. Linear search means one by one sequentially. Okay.
Wait. If we want the value 200 to display, default search is linear search, right? We'll search line by line and display 200 in 6 search. 4, 5, 6, right? Okay.
Okay. The next thing is binary search. So instead of going to this theory, go to this one. You will definitely understand. What it will do is, if you have 10 records, it will segregate 5 records one part and segregate the remaining 5 records in the another part. See, totally we have this kind of records. This one it will segregate like this. That means by 2. Okay. So first of all, it finds over here for India. So it is not there. So again, this one will be made. This one will be split up into 2 things. Again, here it is not found. So cancel it. So from here it will come to India. Okay. So how many searches happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within 5 searches, it has to India. If you want to go by linear search, how will it take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 searches it will take. But binary search it took within 5 searches. That's why binary search is very fast.
Wait. So, no, all the records it will make us into 2 parts. So, first one will be into 2 parts. If it is not there, okay. Oh, the logic was it is, okay, nice.
If you are very strong at mathematical,